All right. What's up, MEJ? Hope you're doing well. All right. We're going to have a Memories in Motion tier list. Do a few battles. Maybe, you know, a final send-off with Bastion before we get into it. But, yeah. Whoa, why does this menu look weird? Is that just me? Might just be me. Okay. Anyway. I played this team once. I got 5-0 with it. And then I just ran some of it in the tournament this past weekend. Didn't do as well as I wanted to, but it's all good. Okay. But, yeah, we're going to do the new season tier list. What's up, Almond? I hope you're doing well. Thank you for the heart me and the Go Popular. I hope you had a great Global Gold Tour. I was in Seattle, but I had a fun time. Okay. Let's do a few battles and then we'll get into it. Ooh, that's a great lead for me, honestly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's a. Okay. Interesting. I feel like they have a Altari answer in the back. So I'm probably just going to stay in, play out the 1 shields. They're at like 2, I think. 1, 3, 4, 5. Okay, yeah. We'll shield up this. We'll throw on 9, I guess. If they shield again, that's going to be really good for me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, I miscounted. That's not good. Do you think Greedent will have some notable value with the Mudshot buff? It'll be better, but it won't be good, unfortunately. Whoa, what the heck? Well, that's not good for them. Yeah, it's actually very good for me. This Gorgeist has nowhere to go, so quite good. Cheering for originals. What's up, Tommy? Best electric types next season? Yeah, so electrics will be decent. I'm gonna wait for a little bit, just so that Bastion mirror match of the regional was crazy. Yeah, dude, honestly, I didn't even get RPS. I just didn't have an answer to the dang what do you call it? I just didn't have an answer to the freaking what do you call it? Ferret. Yeah, this is really good for me. They have like nothing in the bag. What's up, Soph? Yeah, the ferret. That was unfortunate. Oh, they catch a sky attack on a Gorgeist. Well, that is a choice. Can they win this? I don't think so. Yeah, I'm gonna just come in Bastion. Force them to throw their energy. Shadow Ball will take me out, but that's fine. Hit 80 during the event, which was nice. Yo, let's go. I still have to purify, like, I don't know, a lot of shadows, so not the best look for me. Yeah, we should be okay. Sleep Bomb won't take me out, and 100 Cannon, I'm far from that. But yeah, Greedent is unfortunately not, like, it's good. It's just not the best normal type because Furret and Licky Licky exist, and there's a lot of ghosts, right? And they have slightly better ghost coverage. So there's that. But Soph did a great job casting as always, and it was a fun time to see everyone and stuff too. I thought it was a good tournament overall. I probably should have brought more Bastion answers, but who brings Bastion, right? I wait for viewers to line up at the door before opening. Yeah. I'm just gonna do like a few more battles, and then that's exactly what I'm doing. But feel free to drop your own predictions. So for this tier list, I have all the Pokemon that have been updated. Gotten moves added to them or anything. And I'll talk about any of the moveset changes. Hey, GG Shady. Yeah. After losing to a fellow Bastion user too, I'd be okay. I'd be okay with a little nerf Bastion. I think Bastion will still be quite strong though in GBL, just not as strong. But like, you know, there's just no way Moltres still beats Sebastian or Altaria, right? But in Show 6, I think it'll be a lot harder to use. Not impossible, but not great. What's up, Matt? You know what? Maybe I just get into it. Let's just get into it. I think we have enough people. We don't need to play out all our sets because we have a lot to discuss here. All right. Let me pull up the tier list. All right. Here we go. Just faced Toph a game ago. Nice. Good thing we saved the 55-second recording of Q. Yeah, that's true. Why did I save that? I have no idea. All the big names out tonight. Yeah, I guess getting a lot. You know, I'm sure Soph was also using a little Bastion to do things. Hey, what's up before dawn? Hope you're doing well. Okay, so let's cover a few things first. First and foremost, obviously this update will go live in about what, 13 hours? No, 15 hours from now. Anyway, you all get the gist. The usual time. A few attack changes. We'll just go over this real quick, but this is going to be my Great League tier list for the new Memories in Motion season. And of course, there are a bunch of changes. A lot of this is speculative as well if it comes down to like energy generation, energy cost, things like that. But the damage reductions and increases are accurate as always. But we can speculate, and I think for the most part, it'll be good. Hey, Andrew, thank you so much for the heart, Army. Heat wave, yeah. Heat wave could be interesting. I don't know if it would be relevant. When is the new PvP update come out? A little over like 12 hours from now. Yeah, just like 1 p.m. Pacific time. GMT -8. Okay, so a few attack changes. Low kick. Trainer bat. In terms of damage, 4 to 5. Energy generation increase. There's speculation that this will be a metal sound clone, which will make it quite good. Mud Shot is reducing in power, but energy generation increases. Should be the old Mud Shot, so could restore some Mud Boys and ground types to former glories, but in my mind, we'll get more into it. Cycle Cut goes up by 1 damage. Waterfall goes down by damage. Energy generation increases. Wing Attack, energy generation increases. Could be the old Wing Attack in all likelihood. Drain Punch goes up from 20 to 40 power, which is quite a bit. Heat Wave reduces 20 damage, but energy cost is decreased. Sand Tomb goes up from 25 to 40 power. Twister goes up from 45 to 70 power. Energy cost is decreased, which is a significant buff because no matter what it is, it's jumping up 25 damage. 25 damage, and then it's getting cheaper. So that's like a really win-win across the board for any Twister users. Volt Tackle, energy cost decrease. I think it's just like at the moment in time, only one, like a specific Pikachu that learns Volt Tackle. Really weird buff, but it is one. Maybe we get a Pokemon with Volt Tackle down the road that hasn't been announced yet, or it's added to something else. Bullet Punch goes down by 1 damage. Straight nerf. Mud Slap goes down by 1 damage. Smackdown goes down by 1 damage. Mud Bomb goes up by 5 damage, but energy costs increase. And in all intents and purposes, this is likely a nerf because anything times, even if it's like just the amount of same efficiency, which I don't even think it could be, just things costing more for like a bait move is just not great. And then Night Slash, user's attack increase has been lowered. So right now it goes up by 2 attack stages. So it'll have to go up just by 1, right? There's no other option. So that's a straight nerf, obviously. And the Rock Tomb goes down by 5 damage. Those are all the attack changes. And then attack availability, Gliscor, not Gligar. Gliscor gets acrobatics. It does have Sand Tomb already too, and Sand Tomb got a buff, so that could be interesting. Moltres gets Fly, not Galarian Moltres, because it already has Fly, obviously. Scolipede gets Aqua Tail. Volcanion gets Scald. Heracross gets Fury Cutter. Pidgeot and Zapdos and Togetic get Heat Wave. Camerupt gets Scorching Sands. Rotom Moform, really random, but it gets Leaf Storm. Articuno gets Powder Snow. Heracross gets Rock Tomb as well as Camerupt. Marshadow gets Shadow Claw. Wormadam, Plant, Sandy, and Trash all get Sucker Punch. Flygon gets Twister, and Garchomp also gets Twister. Okay, so I'll tier everything that is directly got a new attack. Obviously, I'll give you an example. Like Cresselia, Psycho Cut got buffed, right? So it's not like a specific, it's not a new attack, but it is a change for sure on that. Hey, DHG, thank you for the follow. And it was good to see you briefly in Seattle. But yeah, remember your star pieces for sure. And Mewtwo, I don't know if it'll make Mewtwo relevant in Master League again, but we'll see. We'll see. But anyway, so I'll tier all the random stuff that got changes, and then we'll go from there. So that's why some of these are in circle, right? Because they're things that directly got updates. Some of these things are pretty irrelevant, honestly. I should probably put an irrelevant category. But like, for instance, Marshadow is not even relevant, so we're not even going to. Actually, I'm just going to not tier them because they're kind of useless for Great League purposes. Because I don't even think you could use a Great League Marshadow. Volcanion as well too. It is possible, but it's going to be pretty bad, I think. So we'll put this in hot garbage. Technically speaking, I think you could get one. Okay, Gliscor actually is not going to be as good, I think, in many respects. Despite the fact that Sandtomb and Acrobatics was given to it, and Sandtomb was given to it. Acrobatics is still a pretty costly move, and even though this is like potentially old wing attack, it still ranks at 194. Shadow 229. Of course, it can still beat some like matchups that it should beat, but overall, I think this is just going to be in the probably bad category for now. Rotom Mo is also just really random. I really don't even know why they have that, but that is all the way in the 800s. I'm going to put that in the hot garbage category as well. Maybe even worse than Volcanion, honestly. Again, some of these are just like kind of like head scratcher nerfs, or buffs, but it is what it is. Heracross, all the way in the 299, pretty much 300 category. Probably put it as bad. Yeah, it's just a little bit hard to use, I think. In limited metas, I think it could be okay. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I don't know. I can't see a strong reason to make Heracross good. I was thinking like, oh, maybe into the Mud Boys, but then like, I mean, what? Quagsire, probably the most common Mud Boy that will be around. We'll have Stone Edge, so that would be kind of tough. Yeah, Gliscor, unfortunately, still not great. Schmooze Guy, thank you for the follow. Okay, let's look at the Wormadams because there's a bunch of them. There's not a lot of great ones. Wormadam plants, pretty bad. A lot of grass types in general, this meta is going to be pretty bad. So, yeah, don't expect too much out of them. Wormadam Sandy, also not the best. I mean, this was not really one that was known to be good either. Probably, this is Sandy. Yeah, this is a Sandy one. We'll put it here. Honestly, the Rotom might be even worse than it, but it's hard to say. Wormadam Trash, the only one that's ever really been super useful. All the way at 99 overall. It's okay. I think there's better steel bug types in general. So, I'm going to put it in the probably bad category. But in limited metas, might be usable. You know. Hey, what's up, Charlie? Now you got me craving some chicken nuggets. Okay. Togetic, probably like okay-ish. I guess it depends really on how good Heat Wave is, but it's a non-stab move. Togetic's always, in my mind, still been like kind of underwhelming in Open Great League. So I wouldn't put it in like a very solid category. You could maybe put it in Fringe Meta, 156 overall. Depends on how good Heat Wave ends up being. There's some speculation that I forgot what some people said. Arrow told me that was this. He told me his speculation on something, but I couldn't remember what it was. I don't think it's going to be super meta relevant though, for what it's worth. But happy to be proven wrong because the Togetic meta could be okay. Garchomp is actually just quite awful. Yeah, we'll put it in the hot garbage category. And then Moltres, regular Moltres, again, not great. You know, these are just like more like Master League Pokemon. I mean, Moltres not even a Master League Pokemon, honestly, if we're gonna be real right now. Is just Rotom better? I don't know. Again, these are just like, you know, Pokemon that just got updates, of course, so would never really be that relevant in Great League, but I'm sure some people might wonder that. Articuno actually is not the worst at 200 overall, but I think there's just better ice types, so we'll put it in the bad category. Did we ever find out engine cost or Heat Wave? This might make a difference for if it's valuable or Spice. Yeah, I mean, if you think about it logically speaking, right, they did reduce the damage quite a bit. So even if it's like a super cheap move, it can only be so cheap. It could only be so good, I guess, right? Like, but yeah, I think like there's a chance that it's better than we anticipate, but I don't think it'll be that much better, right? It's not going to be like, you know, something like as good as like a Blast Burn, right? For example, that would be kind of crazy. Scolipede with even the Aqua Tail, it's just kind of bad. I mean, this could be like a interesting pick in some limited metas, but not in Open Great League. All right, Pidgeot. This did get Heat Wave as well. I think Pidgeot's okay even without the Heat Wave, with the Wing Attack buff. I don't know if it'll be like great though. I probably put it in Fringe meta, but with Air Cutter, it's a nice bait move. You have Brave Bird, Heat Wave. Could be a lot of options there. Zapdos is something that had like some fleeting relevance for like one meta maybe last year. But generally speaking, I just don't think it's great. There's just better electric and flying options. Maybe not electric and flying options. What's up, Nation? But yeah, some of these can definitely be relevant in some limited metas, so just keep that in mind. But this is just for Open Great League in terms of Show 6 as well as GPL. So I will always make that distinction whenever I talk about some of these, because one example we'll talk about later, like Bastion, will probably be really irrelevant in Show 6, but you could definitely lose to it in GPL still. Camberupt's not a good Pokemon, even with Rock Tomb, and they nerf Rock Tomb. So yeah, I'm gonna just put that in the hot garbage category, actually. And then Flygon, the last one that got a direct move. And that one is Dragon Tail, Sand Tomb, Twister. Some pretty solid moves. I'll put it this way. Back when Flygon had Dragon Claw and Dragon Claw was a cheaper move, it still wasn't that relevant. So even if Twister's a solid bait move or like a cheaper Dragon move, it doesn't make Flygon that relevant in Open Great League. Now, when Fantasy Cup rolls around, it might be okay. But in Open Great League, different story. So we'll put it there. All right. The rest of these are the top 150. Outside Claydol, but I just thought to leave Claydol in there because it's been hot garbage before. It'll probably still remain hot garbage. But everything else here is in the top 150. So if you don't see something here, it's not in the top 150. Tinka-Tink, Klefki are in the top 150, right? So I'll give you an example. Like, you're like, where's Typhlosion? It is not good right now. Not only is it just like really slow, well, I mean, it's still the same pacing, right? It's like none of it's direct, I should say, moves got nerfed or buffed, but it's just not going to look good in this particular meta, especially in the Mudshot buff. And then also, assuming the new update to the PP system works well, any fast attacks with longer duration turns are likely going to be a lot worse, because you get guaranteed moves to go on when you, in the current state of things, you typically get KO'd, right? So, as colloquially called DRE, but it is not indeed an error. It's actually going to be the norm. So, assuming that all goes well, then the longer term duration moves like Incinerate, Typhlosion is going to be quite bad. Yeah, Incinerate suck, and then unfortunately, Ember's just not that great for it either. Okay, so let's start at the very top, and we'll go from there. Jellicent at the very #1 slot, and honestly, I think that's honestly quite well deserved. So we'll put that in that #1 slot for now. Top tier meta, not just because it's #1 for that reason, but it's just very, very solid. A lot of grass types you'll see are actually quite bad this upcoming season, and I think it's going to be hard just to make grass types work in general. Credility, one of the better grass types, right? Been nerfed. Gourgeist, Incinerate user, not great, right? So that's going to drop down. And also, Gourgeist was not really that reliable into Jellicent. In fact, I'd rather be a Jellicent user than the Gourgeist in general, and definitely nowadays. So yeah, and outside of that, like, what other grass are there? Abomasnow, it's okay. Potamon made it work, but it was very specific to his team. I don't think it's actually going to be that great, though, in this upcoming season, especially with a lot of water types running around, and like Powder Snow into water types is kind of weird. And if that's your grass type, that's not a fun time. Altaria, #2 overall, and I think for good reason as well. Altaria's actually, I think I ranked Altaria pretty high last time around too. Definitely an S tier pick. Going to be quite good. Furret is all the way at #3. Furret in my mind is really safe. I don't know if I'll put it at S tier. You can maybe make the argument. I'm gonna put it in A tier for now, but I might bump it up. There are, like, Furret's like a very strong generalist, which is why maybe you can make the argument that it's an S tier generalist, and I think that might hold some weight there. But so we'll do it. Yeah, this is a Pokemon Go tier list. Yeah. There's a fully complete and cohesive ranking online already. There is Cooper, but just because there's a ranking online doesn't actually mean that it's accurate, I guess. Because these are based on, if you're looking at PvPoke as example, Cooper, then these are based on One Shield Sims, right? It doesn't mean that they're necessarily good. For example, Annihilate. We'll just talk about Annihilate since we're on the topic, right? #12. So, it got low kick. Low kick got a buff. Recommend move says low kick, rage fist, close combat. Now, let me tell you why I don't think it's actually going to be as good as it seems. Like, it will be a good Pokemon. I wouldn't put it in S tier. Because if you have low kick, you actually don't have that much fast attack pressure. And you have to get a close combat to take out a lot of the steel types, a lot of the normal types, right? You can't throw Rage Fist and low kick down a Licky Licky or a Furret, for example. Meanwhile, they're going to be hitting you back with neutral or super effective damage. That being said, let's say you lead a Florges and you lead it into a Guzzlord on the opposing side, right? They say swap in Napoleon. You have a Annihilate in the back. What do? You come in with it. Well, now you're behind an energy. And let's say it's 5 low kick to a Rage Fist. You get outpaced because you're behind by a turn. On top of that, the Rage Fist doesn't take out the Empoleon. So now, all of a sudden, even with the buff low kick, you are less reliable as an answer to steel and normal types. Maybe even dark types. But would you ever run counter in this new meta? I don't know. That's a hard sell too. Because if you're running counter and someone's running low kick, they get to the Rage Fist before you, you just lose every mirror. On top of that, you know, low kick does so little damage that I don't know if you can muscle through a Azumarill like a current Shadow Annihilate could potentially into 2 shields. P-Poke's never accurate, so don't fully trust. Yeah, exactly. I go off of, I mean, of course, I did use P-Poke for a lot of these in terms of what to include, but P-Poke rankings are like they're like based on one shield situations, and sometimes you have to bait, and so it's the greater meta. But that's why like Scrafty and like Harping used to be top of the P-Poke rankings forever, and they were like never that relevant even when they were. You just invest in Shadow Talonflame. You know, it could still be good. It's just longer turn duration users, fast turn durations aren't going to be as good. Yeah. So I think they did a good job bouncing Ape, making low kick solid but not OP. Yeah, I would agree with that too, right, Blue Nation? So because of that, where's the Annihilate at? Right here. I'll put it in meta for now. The other selling point for Annihilate is that Medicham is getting a buff, right, with the Cycle Cut buff, and Medicham actually looks solid into a lot of these things. This is a really good Medicham check still, especially if you use the Ice Punch, Dynamic Punch combo. This is going to be super annoying for Medicham to run into, right? Even though Medicham, I think, will be a better fighter overall, this is going to be a big limiting factor. I'm going to put this here. Medicham, I think, is going to be a little bit more relevant in some ways, but it has some really nasty matchups. If you run Ice Punch, Dynamic Punch, Cycle Cut, you're just destroyed from Jellicent. You're just destroyed by Azumarill. And of course, Annihilate just beats you as well. But I think in a lot of neutral matchups and positive matchups, this Medicham is kind of back in many ways. So yeah, so just something to keep in mind. But yeah, we'll continue on with the top to bottom approach. Azumarill, 4 overall. Honestly, Azumarill kind of back, you know. Being a really strong check to Medicham is great. It's like not the worst into Jellicent, fantastic into Altaria, of course, and just a great generalist. And of course, Credilli being nerfed, Gourgeist just being harder to play, and honestly, Gourgeist wasn't even that great into Azumarill, and just no really grass in sight. And Azumarill having so much coverage even into like electrics, there's just not a lot of things stopping it. Bastion got nerfed, right? That's not an answer. I mean, it's an answer, but like it's not great. I actually think it's a lot worse now with the damage nerf. Looking at Shelgon Sims, non-Shadow has really good neutrals and zeros and ones. Yeah, assuming the Twister predictions are right, which I think will be pretty close. Empoleon, Metal Sound, Hydrokin, and Drill Peck, nothing got buffed or nerfed, but a lot of it, I think it's gonna be good. You know, again, the reason is if you're not running counter on Annihilate anymore, Empoleon is actually better. And the thing is, like, in a way, this low kick buff is like a nerf to Annihilate. Because if people are running low kick, you have to run low kick if you're an Annihilate user. And because of that, you can't run counter, and then you can't counter down some of these matchups that you want to before. Unless, like, across the board, the community agrees to not use low kick and everyone sticks with counter. In a way, like, it's so weird, but it's like a buff to Annihilate, but it's also a nerf to Annihilate. Because you're just forced to use low kick. We'll see, though, what people end up using, but, like, in so many ways, like, this low kick buff is not like as good as people may think it is. Of course, it looks amazing in Sims, right? If you're running Rage Fist close combats, this is worse into Altaria as well. You know, like they don't have to worry about shield in the first one. They go straight, you know, for the moves. Obviously, you get to the ratios a little bit faster, but like you don't have the counter damage to match in the same way. But so because of that, I actually think Empoleon is actually going to be quite good as well. So we'll put it there. We could probably interchange some of these in terms of their order, but we'll leave that for now. Wigglytuff at number 6. I think it's okay. I think it's still going to be meta. But again, the charm damage has been kind of like missing for a while in my mind. And it's not nearly as scary as it used to be. But Altari being relevant, Jelson being relevant, quite good. Wigglytuff and Jelson's not that great though. You know, so we've all seen that. Hey, what's up, Vitamin? Would you rather build a rank 1 Metacham or rank 5? I'm thinking rank 6 is better due to winning CMP. I would honestly run the rank 1 if it came to that. Because if you're Metacham Mirror, right, and you're running... This is not Psychic Metacham, right? You're probably running Ice Punch and Iron Punch. Doesn't really matter you lose CMP there, right? Does it? I don't know. Yeah, maybe like head-to-head, you'll just win out if you get the Ice Punch off first. But like, you're not leaving with that much health, right? If you really need to fight for Switch, sure. But I actually think the stat product's going to be a little bit better, right? Like, it's not like... Winning Charge Attack Priority when it was a Metacham Mirror and it was Psychic was the move of choice, that was pretty big. Because Psychic did a good chunk. Ice Punch is not going to do much, you know? So I actually don't think it's that important to win Charge Attack Priority. Obviously, like, Charge Attack Priority winning is always a factor, but I actually don't think it's going to be that great. Was deadly as it was used to farm down everything with counter, but I'm not convinced with low kick. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Yeah. But again, who knows? If people collectively decide not to use low kick, then it's just Annihilate's just the older Annihilate, right? And I actually think that's not too bad. Like Licky example, as that's coming up on the tier list. It's just you have to land a close combat now. What if you don't land it? Then you're debuffed. Then you're worried about shielding every potential Shadow Ball, or you have to shield a potential, you know, super effective Shadow Ball. So, yeah, I think Licky is going to be quite strong still. It's super safe. I'll put it there. I think Firt's a little bit better because the Zumo's super strong right now, and the Trailblaze is nice. It's also, like, arguably a little bit better into Empoleon. Not that much better, though, but... Drapion. Shadow Drapion. Unfortunately, the pronunciation is Drapion, not Drapion. Okay, so Mud Slap being nerfed. This is the biggest winner of all that. Maybe Empoleon to a degree, but particularly Drapion because it shot back up in the rankings all the way to number 10 overall. And I do think that is for good reason. I'll put it here. I actually think Licky is still a little better. I'll probably put it even here. I don't know. Mainly being that it still doesn't have a great stat product. It's still kind of frail, right? But it is a lot better. I don't think it's as good as it was at its peak like a year ago or whenever the last time was super relevant before the Mud Slap buffs. But I do think it's actually a lot better. This is obviously after they nerfed Crunch like a year or so ago as well. So that is also a factor, but it is nice. It's spammy in the new PvP update. Everything that's spammier on a short turn duration move, like a 2-turn or 1 turn, is always going to thrive in that environment. So I think it'll definitely thrive. Fortress with Bug Bite, Sand Tomb, Rock Tomb. This is a super interesting one in my mind. I guess it depends on... I don't know. This Pokemon feels a little bit more RPS than others, and this is assuming that there's not even really much fires in this meta. It's just like... I think it'll be meta, but it's just like some of these matchups are a little bit weird, right? You land a Rock Tomb on Altari, if you don't take it out, what are you going to do? Bug Bite, right? There's a Zumo everywhere where you're doing resistance damage, and yeah, you have the Sand Tomb and Rock Tomb, but like the reduced Rock Tomb damage is also a little bit awkward into Zumo. Like, you know, it would have been better, I think, if they never nerfed Rock Tomb this season. But with the nerf Rock Tomb, even with the buff Sand Tomb, it's like, it's okay, I guess. I'll put it here for now. I do think it will pre-meta, but I don't know, like, it's kind of an annoying one to use. You can always use Volt Switch as well, but I'm not sure. Oh, sorry, 3-minute advertise. Yeah, sorry, I did answer your question. Yeah, sorry, Vitamin. So the answer is I would go with the rank 1 because if you're using a high rank 1 or a lower rank 1, winning Charge Attack Priority when you're most likely running Ice Punch and Iron Punch doesn't really save you too much. It was a lot better when Psychic was the move of choice because winning that Charge Attack Priority is big. Obviously, winning Charge Attack Priority in any mirror is always nice, but when you're just getting off one Ice Punch before the other, it's not as crazy good in my mind. Hey, what's up, Meepy? I hope you had a safe travels back. Well, I assume you did because you're here. Blue Nation say, I'm excited for Shadow Drop and do better overall this season. Less Scizor can handle much shot quite well and offer a lot of pressure. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Just general or certain Battle League. So this is for Great League. Yeah, specifically just for Great League. Not Ultra League, not Master League. I'll make a tier list for those. Open Great League. Open Great League either for Go Battle League or for the Show 6 format. Yeah. But, you know, I think Fortress could be okay, especially if Medicine picks up in usage. That might actually be not too bad, too. But Dynamic Punch, it kind of chunks the Fortress for neutral. Okay, we talked about Nihilip at 12. Galarian Corsola. Didn't really get any buffs or nerfs. It's okay. I think Jellicent outpacing it makes it a little bit harder to use. It also just, like, I don't know. I mean, I think it's an A-tier pick for sure, right? I still think it's quite nice. But like also the typing doesn't help it as much as it does for this because this resists everything that Medicine can throw. I mean, it's not like Medicine's going to be a Galarian Corso or straight Ice Punch, but if you have like energy lead, shield lead, you know, health lead, you could do something. You can't do nothing into this Jellicent. Luterio, thank you for the follow. Primate good now. Primate didn't really get much of a buff. Like, it got low kick, but I think Crowd Chop's just better. So it'll be roughly the same. But in terms of a competitive wrestling meta, maybe so. Fralgator, in a way, is kind of back. It was already lingering around a bit. But, you know, no Credilli is kind of nice. No Mudslap Pressure is kind of nice as well. Shadow Claw, Hydro Cannon, Ice Beam. You could potentially run Crunch, but that's really just for the Jellicent. Everything else, like, it's not really that much better to run Crunch. I was talking to some of my buddies about this earlier, but even Crunch into Empoleon is not that much better. But yeah, I think this is going to be a strong meta pick, a very safe meta pick in my mind too. So even though the Sims don't show it too well, I put it right here maybe. I think it's good. You know, Empoleon, for Alligator does for Alligator things. You can maybe make the argument that it's a little bit worse than that, but I don't think it's actually too bad. Malamar is all right, I guess. I don't love Malamar because all the ghosts can kind of hit back at it. I'll probably put it above the Corsola, actually. The reason why is because Corsola's good, but it's like an opportunity cost. If Jellicent's better, why not just run Jellicent over Corsola, right? There's not really a replication of Malamar in these, so I think Malamar actually is a little bit more unique in that respect. Sableye is it back? I don't know. I mean, it's a little bit. It's one of the dark types that does like decent into Azumarill, right? And shields up, especially if Medicine picks up in usage, right? I don't think Annihilus going to pick up that much in usage. I'll put it right here. Again, this is a little bit different from Jellicent, so it's a little bit different of an option. You do have that Power Gem coverage, Dazzling Gleam, if you want to run that into the Flyers as well. I can see some people making Sableye work. Yeah. It's always been like a decent Pokemon, but it's a little bit safer to use now. Talonflame's all the way at 17. I think it's okay. I don't know. It's still going to be the best fire type you have. So we'll put it here. But it's just... yeah, it's going to be hard to use, I think. There's going to be a lot of things. Things are spammier too, right? The thing is, Talonflame was much better in a Mudslap meta because you couldn't get to the moves. Like Mudslap was relying on the Mudslap damage, whereas if they rebuff Mudshot, stuff like Quagsire just gets to those water attacks so fast, right? It doesn't matter if like you're not doing as much fast attack damage, you know. It's still it's the water damage that you're really worried about. Hey, what's up, Gary? Yeah, it's all good. I did my best, but you know. Try to give Bastion a good showdown and a good show, and it did. It's just not for my Bastion, for my opponent's Bastion. Malamar has been a godsend for me recently. The Jelly Ape Bastion were getting out of hand last few days. Yeah, for sure. Less Bastion down, but what was my place in Seattle? I don't actually remember. I got enough for points, I guess, but nothing too outstanding, I would guess. I don't know if the standards are out. I think it was like somewhere. It was like top 40 something. I don't know. Top 30 something, 40 something. I don't know. Nothing crazy. Yeah, but I'm glad I got some points at least. Okay, Togekiss 18th overall. Peck, Psyshock, or Sphere. Recommend moveset, but you can obviously flex things around a bit. This is an interesting one because it's really not great into Jellicent and Azumarill, but it has a lot of play into everything else. Obviously, it's quite nice into the Medicham on top of it. Psyshock's okay, but the Peck damage will add up for sure. Great into the Furret for sure. I like this a little bit more than Talonflame, but not that much more. Yeah. I don't know if this would be super meta, honestly. Yeah, I don't know. We'll put it there. I like the fast stack speed, or the speed of the 2 turns and everything, so it could do something there. You don't think Glasgow has play with acrobatics? No. The problem is it takes a while to get to it, and the Sandtube's okay. It doesn't have the great stat product. So you still get outpaced by a lot of things. There's a lot of water, a lot of ice damage as well in this meta. It's stat product. Yeah, it's just going to be hard to use. If you land at acrobatics, great, but like, what are you landing it on? Like a Medicham, Annihilate? Why don't you just use the Altaria at that point, right? Yeah, I think it's just like there's just better flying options, I think is the issue. What about Gastrodon? I'll get to it, but Gastrodon actually goes pretty far. You know what? I'll just tier it right now. 61 overall. The Mud Slap nerf definitely hurts it. You're walled off by this as well if you're running Water Pulse. This is not great. Like, you're just a lot worse than you used to be. You could definitely still Mud Slap down like a Drapion and still like do some work with it. But a lot of the Mud Slappers are going to take a pretty sizable hit with this damage nerf. So we'll put it in like fringe meta, I guess. Yeah. I'll get more to it though when we get to other things. Lapras had all the way at 19. Lapras is a tough one. You're walled off by this guy. Everything else has a lot of play into Lapras as well. It didn't get a nerf or a buff. It's just more so Jellicent being prominent is what makes it a little bit harder to use. I'll put it here. No, I'll put it here, actually. Again, this is more of an opportunity cost. Why run something weak to electric and grass when you have, like, other better options, right? Yeah. I think it's actually, like, on a standalone, Lapras is a great Pokemon. The problem is everything else in the meta is what makes it harder to use. And it won't feel like a great Pokemon, right? Perfect example of this is Feraligatr. Feraligatr probably wasn't as good in last season, but it didn't get a buff or nerf. It's just a lot better in this upcoming season because of what else that's relevant, you know? Yeah, Celio. Honestly, I got steamrolled by Celio in my losers brackets. Similar thing. We'll put it here for now. It's not like that much worse than Lapras, but it's not that much better. Clefable. It's a fairy that beats fairy. I know it's Cobia ran it in Seattle actually as well. It could be interesting, you know. You win against other fairies. You have a lot of neutral coverage. I don't know. I think it could be okay. It's a little bit more polarizing, right? You don't have the type advantage that you have for the Wigglytuff. But I kind of like it, you know, in certain situations. You do have to land a move against fighters. You can't, like, Fairy Wind things down. But I think there's a lot of utility with Clefable. That could be good. Magcargo don't even make the list. Yeah. But Magcargo's way out of the top 150. Galarian Weezing. Similar to Clefable, but it's like a worse Clefable in my mind. I will say, though, it has slightly more play into Azumarill than Clefable does. But it's just like, it's a good generalist. You know what? I think because just for the Azumarill matchup alone, I do think there's some merit there. I'm kind of stuck between that and Fringe meta. Where is this Galarian Weezing? Oh, here it is. I'll put it here. I think it's okay. I think you can make the argument it's a little bit better than that, but I'll put it at top of Fringe. Dusclops. Yeah, it's just like another ghost. It's just like a worse ghost than the other ghosts I've mentioned, aforementioned ghosts. Because Jellicent Ray has plenty of play into Altaria, yes, the Ice Punch is nice for Dusclops. It's just, I think it's not as good. And you also like lose a head-to-head to a lot of the other ghosts. So because of that, why can I not find the Dusclops? Is it not here? Am I just blanking? Dude, it can't be this hard. Okay. I think I don't have Dusclops here. But let's say Dusclops is in a French meta. Let's just put that there. I just don't see it. Top row. Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate it. A lot of Pokemon on here. My bad. I appreciate the help, though. I'll put Dusclops, like, maybe here. Yeah. I think it's okay, but Shadow Fortress is at 24, so we already talked about that earlier. A lot of these are shadows. Clodsire at 27. You would think Clodsire would be kind of decent with a Zero meta, but Justin's pretty strong into it. It's okay, I guess. I'll put it here for now. I think there's just better options, and with the Mudshot buff, like you could run Much on this, but like you're just gonna lose to like the Mud Boys, right? How's your Bassi run at Seattle? It was okay. I got some wins, got some losses. I lost to opposing Bastion, so yeah. Just came back from watching Accent's list. Oh, really? I didn't see Accent's list, actually. So I'm curious to see how it compares to ours. Yeah, Aegislash is on here, but you can't really use Aegislash in competitive play right now. You can use it in Go Battle League. I actually never ran one myself, so I don't have the resources to make one, but the typing and stuff is quite nice. Okay, Dusknoir. Used to be a really good ghost. I think it's still an okay ghost. Similar, though, I think just like the typing for Jellicent's so nice, especially like into stuff like Empoleon, right? I guess Empoleon can still throw Troll Pack, but like a Azumarill as well, too. So I think Dusknoir also using a 3-turn move is, you know, I mean, it's not that slow, but it's not that fast. It's kind of frail. Because of that, where's Dusknoir, right? I think Dusknoir is probably a little bit better than Dusclops because you have that Dynamic Punch at least, but it's a little bit hard to use. You know what Stunfisk I actually think is still decent? It has a lot of play into a lot of the top meta picks. Mudshot buff doesn't hurt it that much because it wasn't going to beat, like, it didn't beat the Mud Slappers before, the Mud Slap Mud Boys and the Mud Slap Grounds. It's not going to beat the Mudshot Mud Boys or the Mudshot Grounds, right? I actually think this is actually still a very strong and safe pick. Honestly, I'll put it here. Yeah, I think this is actually still really, really strong right now. So we'll do that. Blastoise. I don't know. Blastoise is kind of rough. It's great into this, but then you get walled, right? You're like okay into Feraligatr. Like you like, yeah, if you land Skull Bash, it's great, but if you don't, it's like, it gets kind of weird too. I think Blastoise is fine. I don't know where to put this. Probably there, I guess. It's usable. It's definitely solid, but what about Galarian Stunfisk? Blastoise is probably C tier currently. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it was that bad. I think it's just like you're worried about Jellicent. If you're not on Jellicent, it's actually quite scary still, right? There's not that many fighters that like are around, and a lot of fighters can't tank the damage very well. Yeah, but I just think like it's an opportunity cost thing again, right? I think it's just like not as good into the other ones. Galarian Stunfisk is not really back, but it did make the top 150, so I will definitely mention that when it comes to it. Alolan Sandslash, it's all right. I actually don't even like that it's ranked this high, honestly. Definitely more on the fringe side. It's just so frail, too. I don't know. I don't know if I'll put it better than the Heat Waivers. Probably. Guzzlord. Guzzlord, actually, I actually think is not bad. So, Guzzlord, main benefit is that it walls off this damage, beats the Jellicent, beats the Furret, right? It's got a lot of play into the top meta. It might not win a lot of like general matchups as well, but like into what people are running, especially in Show 6, I actually think Guzzlord is quite good. So we'll put that in definitely in the meta area. Yeah, I mean, you can make the argument it's better than Licky Licky in some situations. So we'll see. I think a lot of people will opt for it. Maybe not so much in Go Battle League, but in Show 6, I think it's quite good. Yeah, Chargebug is definitely on this list too. It's not ranked as high. Well, it's actually at 39, so it's coming up soon. But it's also, in my mind, very good. Oranguru is up here, mostly because of all the ghosts. Is Oranguru good? I don't really think so. Like, it barely even beats Metacham, right? So, it's like, it's good because of what else is ranked high, but practically speaking, it's not going to be that good. In Open Great League. Open Great League, GPL, or Show 6, but in limited metas, yeah, I'd say it has some play. Shadow Steelix, it's okay. It has some fast attack pressure for sure, right? It didn't really get nerfed or buffed by any means. I'd probably put this in the fringe meta category. Maybe you can make the argument that's right here. I think I can see that could be okay too. I don't know. Mudshotters are going to give it some trouble, some grievance. I'll put it in fringe meta. I think it's actually a decent fringe meta pick. Chargebug. Okay, I actually think Chargebug's going to be quite good. So Chargebug, main reason is it's a bug type that has a lot of play into Mud Boys. Or sorry, it's an electric type has a lot of play into Mud Boys. Oh, it is technically a bug type too, so I didn't misspeak there. But look at the top of the meta. You play into, you beat this, right? You beat this, you beat this. You have play into Altaria. Shadow actually just straight up beats Altaria, I believe, or Shadow Altaria. Maybe I think maybe even non-Shadow Altaria. I actually think Charge Book's quite nice. It has play into, you know, Sunfist. It doesn't really win it, but has play. Beats this, right? Has play into this. Has play into this. Has play into this. It's not terrible into Licky Licky. It doesn't really win it, but it could hit back. It has play into so many things. I think Charge Book is actually quite nice in my mind. And maybe you can make the argument that's even better. Yeah. Charge Book is always one of those Pokemon that maybe doesn't sim as well, but it has great coverage. And if you position it well, it's actually very solid. Of course, Jelson actually could hit quite back hard into it. So that's obviously why Jelson is a top tier pick. Galarian Weezing placement. I agree with Galarian Weezing placement perfectly. Yeah, Sludge feels iffy. Then you're throwing Brutal Swing. Like, Brutal Swing's kind of weird. You have to shield every potential, like, hard-hitting move from Jelson even, right? And if you're running Brutal Swing Sludge, like, even the Malmarch sideways chunk at it, right? So, it's a Swiss Army knife, but it's, like, a not very good Swiss Army knife. Cordelia's at 40. I think Cordelia drop-off might be pretty understandable. Cordelia is already kind of hard to use right now, right? Because the Empoleon being really relevant is nice. It is, like, quite nice, though, into stuff like Licky Licky. Definitely a fringe pick in my mind. Put it here. Yeah. A lot of grass types are just not very good. That's, I think, the first grass type we have? Yeah. The best grass type we have is actually just Furret, which is not even a grass type. Kingdra is a bait machine in these rankings. I don't think it's that relevant. Like, the problem is you're just not as good in so many neutral matchups. We put it in the fringe category for sure. Maybe here. Yeah. It's just hard to use in Open Great League and Show 6. Limited format's different story. You can maybe make it work in GBL, but, like, why not just run a different dragon at that point, right? If you're going to be weak to, like, fairies, run a different dragon. You're not as weak to ice, at least. Speaking of ice, Alolan Ninetales coming in at 42. Chilling Water, Weather Ball. You could run Disarming Voice too. Or, sorry, Dazzling Gleam. It's okay. So it's really strong, obviously, into Altaria. It has play into, like, you know, the dark types, the things with dark damage. It's actually not even that bad in Licky Licky. But, like, Clefable's just going to roll you, right? Jelson's really strong into you. Azumo's, like, quite nice. Empoleon's good, too. It's a fringe pick in my mind. I would say it's probably better than the Credilli, though. But if you team build right, particularly in Show 6, GBL is a different story, but particularly in Show 6, you can make it work. But I think it's just better options, right? Especially with Jellicent being that high up. Shadow Mighty Yana gonna be sick? Not anymore, unfortunately. If you're curious, too, I'll tell you how it is. Mighty Yana is all the way at 230. 230. It's been, I mean, it's always been a little bit harder to use in general, but I think this upcoming season, it's a little bit harder. Yeah, you get kind of outpaced to the crunch by a lot of things that are way spammier. Bastiodon, 43 overall. Definitely not meta. Definitely not meta. Definitely not S tier as well. Okay, for Go Battle League purposes, you could do something with it. Outside of Go Battle League, I don't really see much use for it, honestly. Maybe put it there, you know. Like, if you want to cheese some people or just, like, fast tag pressure or, like, you know, watch a TV show while you're GBLing and not look, you know, could look away. Great, you know. Lock into a Charge Bug, lock into Licky Licky, a Guzzlord, a Wigglytuff, call it a day. But there's just better options. The fast tag pressure teams are also not as good in Go Battle League now with Mudslap being nerfed. And Charm is no longer what it used to be either, right? And that was nerfed like a bit ago. So even if you run all pure fast tag pressure, it's not going to work that well. You can maybe do some like charge stack pressure and throw a Bastion on the back. You know, that's like kind of how I use Bastion more, but it's still not as great. And personally, I wouldn't even run it that much. Maybe if I'm really bored and want to see if it could work well. But hey, what's up, Deborah? Good, yeah, good to see you too. Yeah, and yeah, hopefully I'll see you at Worlds. What's up, Ninters? Hey, what Pokemon game is this tier list for? Oh, great question. Yeah, so this is for Pokemon Go Great League PvP. Yeah. Why is Hypno so low? I mean, think about it. All the ghosts are really good, right? You can't really hit that back that hard against ghosts. Like maybe Shadow Ball. Thunder Punch doesn't do that much. It's really slow. A lot of things resist it, right? Dark types, steel types. Hypnos has just not really... It's been outclassed by other Psychic users, and they're just not... Psychic users in general are just not that good in general. Like, Medgem is good not because it's a Psychic user. A Ranger is good not because Psychic user, it's because of the normal typing, right? So, yeah. The Goat Del Caddy... Well, if you're really curious, I'll pull it up for you, but it's not even on the list for a good reason. Del Caddy's all the way at 689. Would have a comfortable spot at it next to Camerupt. Maybe even further down than Camerupt, if I'm going to be honest. In limited metas, maybe, if you could charm something down. Okay, Politoed actually comes back in the fold because of the Mudshot rebuff. Weather Ball, Ice Beam, it's okay. The problem is, you have Weather Ball, Water, and Ice Beam. Both of these resist it. You're not like, what are we doing here, right? The Weather Ball rebuff from a bit ago and then the Mudshot buff now makes it a little bit better. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be that good. Shelgon, Dragon Breath, Twister, Flamethrower. You're running 3 moves that's completely resisted by a Zimro. I don't know. And then you're running non-sap Flamethrower for, like, Empoleon, right? I think it could be okay. Particularly in GBL. And Show 6 seems like not that great. There's just better dragon types, right? I don't know. I mean, maybe win the head-to-heads with some of these dragons. I'll give it a little bit of grace. But I think it's a little bit more polarizing, right? You're walled off in certain matchups, and then you're just not great in others. As a generalist, I think it might be okay. Because there's a lack of grass types as well, too. Something else that does better into water types is going to be dragons. So, yeah. So, it might be okay. But, I don't think it'll be that great. Aurorus, always a sim god. 47 overall. What are you really using rock types for at this point, right? Like, there's, like, maybe the charge bug, but the typing is just not doing it justice, unfortunately. It's just weak to so many things. Yeah, I don't know. We'll probably put it... I don't even think it's better than Bastion, honestly. Maybe, like, here? Yeah, I mean, again, it's a sim god. But Bastion has better typing, is the benefit there. And you also lose that head-to-head. So, Florges. I actually think Florges' sims are not as promising for it, but I think it's actually quite good. A lot of people opting for Disarming Voice in this recent tournament for good reason. You're much better into the dragons, particularly Altari that resists all those charge attacks. Florges' ranking is definitely deceptively low, and I actually think it's quite good. Now, Clefable usage, if that increases, could be a problem, but I actually think Florges is very, very solid still. We'll put it here. Has great play into a lot of these things, right? A little bit safer too. Looking forward to sure. Do you get any chance to do anything else in Seattle besides Pokemon Go? Honestly, not that much. I was kind of in and out. Came in Friday night, left Sunday afternoon. But it's definitely one of my favorite cities, and hopefully they have it again next year in Seattle. Would love to go back. I also never got a chance to visit the Pokemon headquarters, so I would love to go back for that one day as well. Ninetales. Cancel Ninetales. That's all right. Final Boss AJ actually made it look pretty solid, but I don't think it's like particularly meta relevance. I think it could be good in some respects. Do I not have it on this list? There's no way, right? Oh, I don't have Cancel Ninetales here. Oh no, it is here. It's right here. Yeah, I mean it's better than some of these other things, I would say. Probably put it here, maybe. Is that too low? Nah, I think it's okay. Not a lot of reliable fire types though, for sure. You're also walled off by Talonflame, so that's also quite awkward. Quagstar's all the way at 51. I actually don't think that's that bad. It's as bad as it says. I think Quagstar could be okay. It's going to be our best Mudshotter, for sure. Right? By quite a landslide, I would say. Maybe put it here. I don't know. Is that too low? Put it... I think it's a lot more flexible than a lot of these other picks. We'll put it here. It's funny how low Annihilate is, but I actually think that's for good reason. There's just so many things that kind of counter it, or make it a little bit harder to play. But Quagsire, both Shadow and Non-Shadow are ranked around there. Yeah. Shadow Quagsire with new season changes. 4 Mudshot to Aqua Tail outpaces most meta picks. Outbulks and Empoleon has Stone Edge. Yeah, it's safe. It just doesn't have great stat product. Like, it's not bad. It's like a very, like, middle middle area. Like certain things, like even if Furret is not throwing Trailblaze, it's like still kind of awkward for the Quagsire, right? You don't land the Stone Edge on the Charge Bug, that's pretty awkward too. I think Stump is a much better pick than Quagsire in my mind. But Quagsire obviously going with that head-to-head. It's just like Quagsire just can't tank damage very well, It's going to be kind of a shield hog. And I think more importantly in this upcoming season, I don't think this season is going to be as alignment heavy. So if you don't win switch advantage, you don't have the switch advantage you need. A lot of things have neutral coverage, which is quite nice. In the last few seasons, with Mud Slap being really strong, Bastiodon, a lot of these fast attack pressure strategies, alignment was really important. But in this upcoming meta with, longer turn duration fast attacks, which usually hit harder, being worse in the new potential PvP update system, assuming it works well, and then also with a lot of the damage values of those fast attacks going down, switch advantage is not that crazy good. So if you can't hang in a lot of neutral matchups, like Quagsire might not be able to, it might not be as good as you think it is, For example, like I don't know if I really want to play Quagsire into a Licky Licky. Like that matchup's kind of weird, Like the Licky Licky kind of does a good chunk of damage even with resisted rollouts. Swalot is all the way at 53. Oh boy, is that a weird pick? But I mean, against a Zermero, it's gonna win, right? Definitely a fringe pick though for sure. Swalot, man, what do I do with this guy? It's just like it's a great generalist, but like what do you target, right? Outside the fairies, it's just I don't know. It's kind of a weird one. Galarian Motion is all that way at 54, although I actually think this is deceptively poorly ranked. All right, so let's look at it. Play into this. I mean, hit it with a Brave Bird, you shield the right moves, it's not too bad. You have some play into this. You win this. You have plenty of play into Charge Bug still. Yeah, play into a lot of these things, right? For Algate as well. This is actually still going to be quite good, just like this past season. I actually think it's going to be better than Drapion. Is that crazy to say? I don't know. Sims say it too, so. Or actually, no. Maybe it was a Shadow Drapion. Let's put this. No, I think it's actually better. I don't think that's too crazy to say. Maybe we'll see if I eat my words. But that's like a small difference. Mana Buzz at 59. Mana Buzz is kind of rough to use in my mind in this current meta. It obviously wins this, right? But it's just ever since they nerfed the airways, it's kind of rough. And you don't really like snarl much down. Like, if Mana Buzz had like Sucker Punch, it might be a different story, but it does not. I think it's still better than like a Bastiodon for sure. Actually, I don't even know. I actually don't even think it's that. I'll put it there. Yeah. Morgrim is an interesting one. Definitely a fringe pick for sure. Might be here. I think Morgrim's actually slightly easier to use. I should have just typed the numbers on the official website instead of energy generation, increase and decrease. Yeah, I actually am not sure if that's a policy from the Pokemon Company. I don't know if that's like an internal thing where they're just not allowed to release those numbers. Because we can't talk about IVs on the broadcast for like a similar reason. And so because of that, I don't know if you could do the energy values for some similar thing. Sucker Punch Mandy would be nuts. Yeah. I remember Yakai bait. Oh, okay, yeah. That was a weird, yeah. I remember Yakai baited and Aqua's Alcatail and landed a Stone Edge. Yeah. That was, yeah. I think it's more so the power creep right now is what makes things a little bit harder, like Quagsire to run like it used to, but yo, what's up, you bad boy? The Zangoose? Those Zangoose don't make the appearance, unfortunately. Yeah, it is a Poké meta, yes. Poké Great League. What's up, James? We had a really good news come out 6 hours ago. What came out 6 hours ago? Whoa. Am I missing something? Anyway. Okay. So, I definitely said exact numbers for damage and energy on stream before, and no one came after me. So, what regional was that at? Let me find that timestamp. Early bird tickets for GoFest. Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely grab those tickets if you can, because I think, I think Chicago's going to be a much hotter, popular spot. I should say hotter, because New York is quite hotter in the summer. But going to be a hot spot that a lot of people want to go to for sure. All right, I already tiered Gastrodon, not as good. Greedent, I know a lot of people are excited about Greedent with a Mudshot rebuff. It's just that it's hard to judge. Like, the fast attack pressure from the Sucker Punch is so nice into a lot of the meta. Greedent was definitely, like, solid before. To be fair, it was never that great in Great League either. That's okay. I don't know. I put it here. But it's like, it's a worse Furret. Which I can't believe I'm saying, because I used to hate on Furret all the time. But, hey, I'm a Furret believer these days. I think I named my Furret bad on my Pokemon nickname, and I just left it there. But, yeah. Casper's all the way at 64. I mean, this is just, like, a weird one. Put it here. I don't know. There's not a lot of great fire types. Swampert. Shadow Swampert is all the way at 65 overall. This is the old Swampert. With the exception of Earthquake was nerfed a few years ago, and it's still nerfed, right? But that's power creep right there. It didn't really get that much worse than before. It's just that outside the Earthquake nerf, it's just that a lot of other things got better. Crazy that Swampert's actually ranked below Gastrodon, but I think it's just worse. Yeah, you can't run Hydro Cannon Sludge either in a meta with Jellicent. Is the problem. It's better than Bastion though. I'll give it a little bit of more credit than this, but it's just not. It's not the same. Quagsire is the better mud boy these days. It used to be Swampert, but Quagsire is definitely gonna be better with the Stone Edge coverage. And you could technically run Sludge and just risk getting walled off from the Jellicents. So that's a trade-off you can take. Also, if you're running Sludge, you're worse into it like Empoleon too. I don't know. Toucannon, Shadow Toucannon, that's just like a spice pick. It sims well, obviously, but I actually don't think it's going to be that good in Open Great League nor GPL. Here? I don't know. Yeah. But a few years ago feels like yesterday. Yeah. Chicago is also hot temperature-wise in summer. Yeah, that's true. I did go. My first Go Fest was in Chicago in 2019. So it's now canceled. Where's King Gambit? Way too far down. In Great League, way too far down. 204. Not as far as I thought it would be, but yeah. This is only the top 150 plus like a few things that recently changed. Going to Copenhagen because it's close to me and a lot cheaper than anywhere in America. Dude, preach, man. America's stupid expensive. Stupid expensive right now. I know the economy's not great in the entire world right now. We don't have to get into that, but America is not great. As someone that lives in the U.S. Okay, Cresselia. It did get a slight buff with a Cycle Cut buff. Mr. Twitchboy, thank you for the follow. I don't think Cresselia is back, especially with Jellicent being so high up. It has some play into some of these things, but I don't know. Is it better than a Morgrim? I think it's better than a Toucannon. I don't think Cresselia is going to be back by any means, but it is fun, though, to see some of these old picks maybe have appearance. Funny enough, Shoutfrog is below Cresselia, which is kind of shocking. Shadow Grumpig at 69. Nice. Grumpig could be okay, I guess. Let me think here. Zermo's going to be more stronger now with Credillia around. It's not that bad into Jellicent, actually. I actually think Grumpig is a little bit better than the Sims would indicate, because it has a lot of great neutral matchups. You have the Shadow Ball for the Medicham as well as the Annihilape. You have Dynamic Punch for the Furret. I don't know. Grumpig actually kind of feels nice. We'll put it here. I think Grumpig is actually, you know, one of those that... Funny enough, it used to sim really well, and somehow now it doesn't sim very well. Yeah. I went to Chicago in 2019. Yeah, 2019. That was my first one. And then, yeah. And then, of course, COVID happened, right? Seeking's at 70. Seeking's kind of a weird one. Definitely a fringe pick by all means. But, I don't know. Put it here, I guess. Seeking's kind of weird. These are starting to get, like, kind of... The picks are getting a little bit weird. Galarian Stumpfist. They did rebuff Rock Slide, right? And then Mudshot's back to its former glories. It's just Earthquake's not as good as it used to be. I don't know. It's just kind of... It just got power crept, just like Swampert, right? In many ways, I would say. Maybe put it here. In Open Great League. Dragonair. It's a slightly worse Shelgon, right? In my mind. I think it's okay, though. I don't think it's as bad as the rankings would entail it, but... I don't know if it's like that good. It's also got all resist attacks into like the Jellicent unless you're running Dragon Pulse. I think Rise did run Dragon Pulse in Milwaukee tournaments, but I don't know. Dragonair is so random. I put it. I don't even know. Here, is it better than a Morgrim? Maybe. I think it's just better dragons. Hey, what's up, Silver? I appreciate it. Yeah. I just want to go Korea someday. Oh, I know they had a Korea event, South Korea event last week, maybe a few days ago. It looked a lot of fun, based on what I saw. All right, Marowak, Shadow Marowak. Ooh, boy, has this guy fallen. 74th overall. Yeah, I mean, just a must-have nerf really hurts it, right? There's just way better things to run now. Where's that guy? Yeah, a big opportunity cost loss here, but is how it goes. Maybe this. I mean, you can still must have a few things now. Honestly, I don't even think it's that much. I'll put it here. I actually don't even think that's good. Yeah, it's just don't use it. Murkrow's all like 75. I think Murkrow's actually decent, though, in some situations. It didn't really get nerfed much. It's just hard to use, but I think in the right situation, it's actually not bad. I'd actually put it a little bit higher than some of these other things. I really like Murkrow still, but I don't know if it's like easy to use. Pachirisu, super like mono coverage for the most part. I guess it did get Hyper Fang, but not the easiest to use. Still a bulk machine though. Put it maybe like here. It's like a weird one. A lot of those are like pretty interchangeable. Golisopod, also just something that kind of fallen from grace a bit. Golisopod and Arachnid are pretty similar in that respect, I would say. I don't know. They have a little bit better play. Arachnid, I feel like, is a lot worse. I'll put Arachnid a little bit lower. Right there. All right. Shadow Scizor. Fallen quite a bit as well. The thing that made this playable was the damage from Bullet Punch. If they only nerf Night Slash, I think it would be a lot higher and still pretty usable. The damage nerf makes it really hard to use in my mind. Yeah. I mean, obviously, you still could beat a lot of fairies with the Bullet Punch damage, but not like it's just going to be a lot worse. Spidops. It had some, like, a little bit of play here or there. I put it here. I don't know. A lot of these are pretty interchangeable. Doublade, something that people thought would be good, but just never really lived up to its name. A lot of ghost types running around too. I don't know. These are like kind of like a lot of them are pretty interchangeable. Yes, nerf Scizor. Yeah, I honestly didn't mind Scizor too much myself personally. I think the Night Slash nerf alone would have been fine, so that it's still usable but not crazy when it boosts. But it's more so like. I would say it's more so like it changes the meta to a lot more charge hike oriented, and nerfing Bullet Punch will definitely kind of quadruple down on that approach for this upcoming season. Shadow Giratina Altered. This is who I'm playing against in chat. Who are you playing against? Anyway, Giratina Altered. I don't know. I mean, even Inadequance is like not playing as much as he used to, right? It's okay. I guess. Dragon Call Shadow Snake. Put it here. I don't know. It's a hard one to use, I think. Noctowl. Old Wing Attack. Sky Attack is worse than it was when it's at its peak, but Shadow Ball is better than it was. Obviously, buffing the non-stab move and, you know, nerfing the stab move is something. It just gets outpaced by so many things too, right? I don't know. Maybe put it here. Like, I think, like, there's just better flyers now, right? Arguably better than normal flyers. Maybe like a Furo. But it has great stat product. One of the bulkiest flyers we have. Yeah. Shadow Mighty End, unfortunately, is not that great. Are you considering a new PvP mechanic? Yes, I am. Yes. So, new PvP mechanics will... I mean, it's already been stated that will happen. Whether it gets pushed out effectively and works well is a different story. But I think this is something that Niantic is going to do no matter what, right? It'd be crazy for them to not do that. So we always have to keep this in mind, right? And hopefully it does work out well. Tinkaton actually being this low is kind of a surprise, but I think it's just like, I don't know. I actually don't think Tinkaton's that bad. It's just like, it might not be good in this meta, but I actually don't think it's that bad of a Pokemon by any means. I just think it's still quite a good Pokemon. Obviously, Altaria having like 5 flamethrower coverage makes it a little bit harder to run, but I actually think Tinkaton is actually quite nice. So I'll put it here. Maybe here. I'll put it here, actually, I think. There's more opportunity costs here than the others, right? Because like this is like a decent fairy into other fairies. And like you could use this as a fairy, right? Instead of Wigglytuff. Just like it's just unlikely you'll use these ghosts. You know what? I'll put it there because you have Dynamic Punch, so that's a little bit different, I guess, than the other ghosts. Okay, Crusto being at 89. I don't even know why this is so high up, but we'll just slot these in like random spots. Honestly, at this point, I don't even know. what are we doing here? I don't know. Samrots, just a worse water. I think. Just a worse water. Honestly, I'll put this. Yeah, no, I don't think it works as probably bad, but Tornado. Yeah, I don't like this. Incinerate as well. Ugh. It's just never really lived up to its full potential. Morpeko actually is just one of those Pokemon that still can steamroll you in the right situations. This thing's a little bit lower than I would expect it to, but like I don't know. I'd still be losing to a Morpeko like every like few weeks or so. I actually think it's like a lot better than it Sims, but honestly, I'll probably put it here. I think it's better than Bastiodon. Primeape is all the way at 93. I think it's just a stat product issue. Gets outpaced by so many things. It's funny because they nerfed Mudslap damage, and like that was like one of those annoying things for the Primeape. I actually think Primeape is a little bit better than this would entail. Maybe like here. Yeah, you can maybe make the arguments better. Dunsparce, it's okay. It's just not as good as some of the other normal types. Again, opportunity cost situation, I would say. Is it better than a Bastiodon? Probably, right? It's a little bit more flexible. Maybe here? Maybe here, I guess. Yeah. Hey, what's up, kids? Story time. I got a Charlie bat today. Yo, nice. Yeah, I did have a great time in Seattle. It was cool just hanging out with people, even if I didn't do as well as I thought I was going to. Murkrow is my favorite Pokemon. Lately in GBL, it can improve with Bastion Golem. The damage output is insane. Yeah, the foul play buff that it got like a season ago actually makes the Corviknight matchup a lot better. I ran it a lot actually in my local tournaments before Seattle. I didn't end up locking it in for my team. I actually like it a lot, despite the fact it's just like it loses a lot of neutral matchups, but like in the right situation, it's quite nice. You know, the typing's good too, and it wins charge like party against a lot of things. Is it even Marowak? Alolan Marowak? No. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Yeah, it's pretty bad. It didn't really get nerfed this time around, but it just wasn't good before, and it's still not good. If I rank 200 Stunfisk and a rank 800 Stunfisk, is there a really major difference? I picked the 800. Its CP is higher, less candy Stardust. That's actually a pretty big difference, I would say. I'd probably would go with Stunfisk. I mean, you kind of answered it in your own question, right? It costs less candy and doesn't power up because it's a lower level. Because of a lower level, it's going to have less stats overall. So 600 difference is quite big, I would say. I think it was like 200 to 300, maybe not, but then I would still go with the 200. Yeah, in my mind, you could always get more candy and Stardust, but if you're in a battle and you lose the battle, you can't get that battle back, right? So that's my thoughts on it. But Warrior Point Aegislash I never used, and I could build one after training tomorrow. It's not going to be good. It's everything that I haven't placed yet is lower than what's here. Yeah, it's okay. Aegislash is a GBL Pokemon too. But with a lot of ghost types running out, I don't know. It might be a little bit hard to use. I think if you know how to use it well, though, it could be good. Slightly lower than Murkrow? Maybe. These things all have a lot more flexibility. The problem with Morpeko is, like, if you have it lined up in a really great matchup, it's deadly. But a lot of the times, you're going to have to spend a bunch of shields and you lose a lot of neutrals. Its stat product is so bad, yeah. Less fast attack pressure is good for Murkrow. Yeah, 100%. Although I would say, like, here's the problem with Murkrow, right? It was great into the grounds before because the Mud Slappers are so slow. Into a Quagsire, though, those Aqua Tails come out faster than your Drill Pecks in Foul Play. So, in a way, like, the Mud Slap, like, nerfing Bastion's for sure good for it, right? But the problem is, like, a Bastion's still going to beat it if you do run into one GPL. And then the Mud Shot being rebuffed makes it a little bit harder to use as a flyer. Yeah. You gotta commit the stats to see the difference. Maybe see the matchups. Yeah, exactly. I would definitely do that. Come back for 3.5 years, but have mostly good stuff built. What should I run or rush to build? Oh, actually, welcome back, Schmooze Guy. I mean, a lot of things that were good 3.5 years ago might still be good now. Like, Metagame has gone back into the picture in some ways. Why is no Sceptile? I'll tell you why. So this is an open Great League, obviously, right? So keep that in mind. Sceptile's all the way at 36. 300, sorry, not 36. 360 Shadow. 420 for the non-Shadow. It's way too, it doesn't have stat product. It goes down really quickly. And the typing's not, Pure Grass is not the best typing, so it's weak to a lot of things, unfortunately. Greninja as well, too. Well, Greninja actually is in the top 140, so 150. It's 140 overall for the Shadow. Water Shuriken, Hydro Cannon, Night Slash. That's great typing. Resist everything from the Jellicent. It's hard to use, but I think it would be good in some situations. I put it here, I guess. Again, kind of hard to use, but might be okay. Okay, let's hear some of this other stuff because we're rambling about random stuff now. Okay, what do we have here? What am I at? More Pekko, Dunsparce, Toxapex. Great in a Azumarill meta. Terrible in a Jellicent meta. Especially with the Shadow Ball buff, right? It was bad into Jellicent before. It's even worse after it got buff last season. It's kind of great stat product still, but it's hard to use. It's very hard to use. I don't know. I think I would put it actually ahead of Bastiodon for sure, and maybe Dunsparce. It's very unique in its role. It's just too polarizing in my mind. It's too polarizing and too hard, too inflexible. Shadow Gligar at 96 is... I mean, it's better than Gliscor, actually, which is funny enough. I don't think it's great, though. Where's this Gligar at? I think Gligar's a little bit more unique, though, in some of these picks. So we'll put it there. But I remember grinding my butt off for Toxapex. Yeah. Yeah, it's super excelled. What do you think about Corviknight? Corviknight... Oh, I didn't tier Corviknight. What the heck? I missed that completely. No, Corviknight is 7 overall. It's very good. It's very, very good. Has a lot of play into all these things, right? Not great into this, but it's super safe. In the hands of a really skilled player, it's very, very strong. Corviknight definitely still S tier in my mind. Also, a great answer to Furret, which is good. The problem with Charge Bug might pick up a little bit in usage. You can hit back against it and the Stunfisk, but Fire's being kind of nerfed a bit also helps out Corviknight a lot. Very, very strong pick in my mind. Yeah, very, very strong. You could actually make the argument that's even better than the Empoleon. It depends. Empoleon's a very straightforward Pokemon. Corviknight is a little bit harder to use. So again, it depends on the user, I think, more than anything else to make it look really good. Klefki is just really random here, honestly. Probably put this in probably bad category. I think a lot of these are going to be bad. Lantern. Just not that good right now. That might be the last one for that one. Wormadam trash. I already have there. Dragouchi with acid. I don't even know why this is all the way there. Very fringe. Very fringe. Fearow is all at 101. I actually think Fearow's actually not that bad, though. I actually don't think Fearow's that bad. I'll put it here. You can maybe make the arguments a little bit better than that, even. Melmetal, I'm not a believer. I don't really know what that is really going for. Really bad stat product, too, which is kind of why it's, like, kind of struggling a bit. And then Como O. Again, probably bad. Probably bad. Okay, and the Aegislash all the way at 109. I don't think Aegislash sims are, like, really great. Like, how do you sim that, right? Every time you throw a move, like, it changes forms, right? Like, it's so dependent on how you're playing it. It is a hard Pokemon to use, but I don't think it's that bad. It's still banned from competitive play for what it's worth. I actually think Aegislash is not that bad. We'll put it here. It's a little bit harder to use than Two-Blade, though. At Shelgon's is S tier. Hey, what's up, Swubs? I don't know about all that, but I've been team building these past couple days, and I feel like it's strong into the OGL meta. Yeah, Corviknight is very, very strong right now. Yeah, it was strong in this meta. It's going to be really strong next one. Yeah, it's not a fun Pokemon. It's a good Pokemon. Yeah, I agree. It is not a fun Pokemon to play because if you don't land the bait, it sucks. But it's not a fun Pokemon to play into because if you get baited, it also sucks. Yeah. Guzzlord being raids be Great League size? No. But you could trade them into Great League. It's hard though. You had to do low friendship trades. Yeah. Yeah. There's a few people that have research Guzzlord that guarantees that'll be under, but to be fair, it's not the hardest to get under eligible for Great League, and if you do a little friendship trade and it rolls to Great League, then likely it'll be a pretty good Guzzlord because it's like low attack anyway, so that's kind of what you want to use to begin with. Okay, Belly Bolt's all the way at 113. I have no idea why. That's not good in my mind. I would actually put it even worse than the Como. And Shadow Gyarados all the way at 115. Okay, Shadow Gyarados. So they have Twister on this. I actually don't know if you want to really run it with Twister. Shadow Gyarados, DHC United won Toronto with it like earlier last month. And I don't know. Let's think about it. It's got to play into a lot of these things, right? I think it depends on... If you run Crunch, I think this is even better. I don't think it's ranked that low. Its stat product is quite low, though. In a mud chop meta instead of a mud slap meta, I don't know. I actually think it's actually okay. I'll put it in French. I'll put it in French meta. I think if you use it well, it's good. In GPL, it's probably really hard to use. But in Show 6, you can maybe make that argument. I don't know. I think it's hard to use, though. Yeah, I might have to move this down a little bit. I think it's hard to use, but I think if in the right hands, it could be good. The problem is a lot of people don't have those hands. Thievel. I don't think it's as bad as it entails, but I don't think it's that good. The Night Slash nerf does hurt it a bit. Not a ton. I think a Thievel is better than some of these, though. Actually, yeah. I think it's a little bit better than some of these. Miltank, for some reason, is on here. I don't know. Miltank is super fringe, I think. Put it there. I don't know. Shadow Annihilate's all the way at 122. Dude, Shadow Annihilate with low kick, Rage Fist, and close combat. The earlier Annihilate rankings was on the non-Shadow. Shadow Annihilate is behind a Crustle. Both Crustle, Shadow and non-Shadow. Are you telling me this is a buff? I don't think so. I really don't think so. I actually don't even love that it got low kick. Because now no one's using counter anymore. And then everyone's using low kick variants. And you got an Annihilate that's worse than a Crustle in the rankings. I mean, I don't actually believe that Shadow Annihilate is worse than a Crustle in the rankings. But like, come on, man. That is nuts. Do we get low kick stats? Some people said that it's a Metal Sound clone. Which would probably be on points, yeah. It's just that without that counter damage, you know, the Shadow variant just, I get why it's worse, right? Amoga, ugh. Fringe, very fringe. Probably put it there. Melodic, probably bad. In Great League, probably bad. Yeah. Non-Shadow Primeape's all the way at 126 too. It's just not a fighter meta. Maybe outside of Metacham. Yeah, Hisu and Coolfish as well too. Kind of on the really low category. I don't know. Some of these are like so interchangeable. Mawile, definitely on the slightly bad side. Where is Mawile at? It's in the 120, top 120 though. Pidgeot, Wing Attack, Air Cutter, Brave Bird. Again, I actually have that a little bit higher. Stat Park's not great, but Tentacruel, Acid, Scald, Payback. What did Tentacruel? Yeah, no, Tentacruel didn't get changed much. I don't know, put it there. I don't really like Tentacruel that much. Especially in Great League. Raccoon is pretty low too. Ludicolo was just the grass that never lived up to its name. I'm not a big Ludi fan. It's hard to play. And no one's really made it succeed even in Show 6 for the most part. Tinka Tough. Tinka Tough is just weird. I'll put it here, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, low kick did get buffed though. So some like the problem is the things that learned low kick that were not meta relevant don't have the stat bug to be meta relevant, even with a buff low kick. The issue is the things that are meta relevant that have low kick already had like decent moves, you know, like Primeape's not going to use low kick. So yeah. Hey, what's up, Silver? If fighters are gone, Mudslap is well, then the homie Murkrow need to take a break before he comes back to win all the CMPs. Yeah. Yeah. Weavile? Nah, dude. Definitely not Weavile. I'll look it up after, but Weavile is so far down. It's so frail. In Great League, but even in Ultra League and Master League. Alright, Lanoon. I don't even know why this is on here, but it's probably bad. Regidrago. Regidrago was just also something that didn't really live up to its name. I don't think it's that bad, but I don't think it's good. It's a little bit more unique, I guess. But it's ranked quite low. Gudra. Again, Gudra's ranked really low, but the thing is, Gudra's uniqueness is flexible. I actually don't think Gudra's that bad. I think you could actually make it kind of work in this meta, so I actually don't hate it that much. Honestly, I'll put a Gudra here. It's like, it just doesn't really beat much, but it doesn't really lose that hard too much either. Yeah. Hydreigon is definitely something that we thought would be good and is not. I'm just gonna put this in probably bad. I don't care what people say. Hydreigon, like, people hyped it up last time. It's not good. It's still not good in my mind. Spiritomb, also kind of in the weird category. Walrein is all the way at 143. I don't think it's that bad. It's hard to justify making it that good, though. I don't know where Wolverine fits. Like here? It's so weird. It's more playable than a lot of these things, though, I think. Put it here, maybe. Yeah. Wolverine's like really bad in GBL, but in Show 6, maybe. Latias is somewhere on here. Bro, what? Probably bad for sure. I mean, it's hard to use. Actually, yeah. No, I'm put it there. I know it has worse here, but it's not even that. It's just hard to use. Kind of frail. Matang, Shadow Matang. Also never really saw the light of day much. Put it here. And then Coolfish, Shadow Coolfish. Don't even think I have his here. Yeah, I don't even think I didn't even put Coolfish on there. Just assume it's pretty bad. Swilus. Also, I put Swilus over here, but actually no, I don't think Swilus is that bad. It's not good, but I don't think it's that bad. Maybe somewhere around. Its typing is actually kind of nice though in some of these matchups. Put it there. Yeah, Ludicolo, that low despite Jelly being number 1. Yeah, the problem with Ludicolo is if you don't land the Leaf Storm, it doesn't do much, right? It's not really like a really hard Jellicent counter is the issue, and then it just loses so many other things. Why, right? Yeah, there's too many things in B tier you need to separate. Well, the problem is they're fringe, right? Like they're like useful. Yeah, you know what? I'll readjust some of these actually. Yeah, you're not wrong. Actually, I do need to readjust because there should be no reason why the fringe category is that much bigger than probably bad and bad combined. Although this is the top 150, so like if I include everything else below that, it's even worse. Dude, the fact that Credilli is all the way at 149 is kind of crazy. It must have been the Shadow. Oh, this is Bullet Seed Credilli. That's why I was like, why? I could have sworn we had Credilli earlier. Okay. Let me put Diggersby here. Diggersby is not that bad. It's at 150 overall. I don't think it's that bad. It's hard to use in this meta. I think it's the issue, but it's definitely not that bad. Okay, Dugong. I don't even know where Dugong is in this. I must have missed some of these. So Dugong is actually pretty bad. It's at 169 overall. It's just like get outclassed by stuff like Jellicent and stuff. And like Lapras. I don't think it's that bad though. But it's kind of a weird one. They put it there, I guess. Okay. And then one of the cast forms I forgot to place. Rainy cast form. Yuck. Not a fan. It's like a worse Lantern in my mind. All right. And then what else we got? Soul Rock. Dewatts is on here. Dude, the fact that Shadow Dewott is ranked higher than Annihilate, Shadow Annihilate, is crazy. Absolutely crazy. A lot of these are just really random, though. I probably wouldn't really suggest. Hakamo is at 111. It's probably a little bit better than Como, I would say, but not by much. Carbink I missed somewhere too. Carbink is not as good as you would think. It's not the new Bastion by any means. The typing kind of sucks on it because you take super effective from grass still, and you take double super effective from steel. So yeah, I don't like Carbink that much. You can actually make the argument that Carpink's even worse than some of these other things. I think Bastion is actually better than Carbink still. And the rankings would actually agree with that too. Charizard is actually outside of the top 150, but I left it on here because I'm sure people were curious how it is. It's not as good anymore. Charizard was barely that good this season in general, but like Wing Attack doesn't make it that much better, and Ember just, it's just not as good. And there's just so many water types right now. I think it's better than some of these things though, but not by much. Put it here, I guess. Yeah. Dragonite also was on the tier list before, but it's gone all the way down to 207. Yikes. Big yikes. Also something that hasn't looked that great. Umbreon is at 158, which just falls outside of it. I actually don't think Umbreon's terrible. I just don't think it's that great. Like, you're better off running like a Guzzlord, I think. It's just slightly better typing and everything like that. Yeah, I'll put Umbreon somewhere like around here, I guess. Poor Matane jumping from Mud Slap meta to Jellicent meta. Yeah. What about Ultra League Quillfish? Well, maybe. We'll talk about it in Ultra League. Am I making a team recommend teams to build? Yeah, I'll definitely have some stuff once the season comes out, because I don't want to like jump the gun. I did some battles earlier, so unfortunately I won't. But yo, what's up, Osito? Seeing you in Seattle was really shy to say hi. Oh, hey, no worries. Hey, just come up to me if you want to next time. I don't bite, you know. I'm just a regular guy. You might be looking at me on your phone screen right now, but I'm just some guy that likes Pokemon PvP. And I'm sure you are as well. So we already have a lot in common. All right, Pelipper is all the way at 112. This one's actually the wing attack buff helps this a lot. Weather ball buff was also great for it. It has Hurricane. I can see some usage here for sure. It's great into some of the water types as well, right? Put it here. I don't think it's going to be back. Like, Pelipper had some play, especially in GPL. Like, do you all remember the Pelipper Bastion on Unova or Galarian Stumpus days? It's a pretty classic team. It's not as good. You don't run that this season for sure. But Solrock is all the way at 134, and it's just not good. I just put it here. It's just bad. It's just bad in my mind. Okay, we're closing in. Bronzon, 57 overall. It's the typing. And it's the coverage. I don't think it's actually good, though. Put it here, I guess. A lot of these are quite interchangeable. Pangoru actually falls out of 155. I don't think it's actually that bad. But I don't think it's that good. It's hard to play, in my mind. Very hard to play. Gourgeist has fallen quite out of favor, especially with Incinerate being a harder move to throw right now. It actually was decent this season. Not good now, in my mind. Not even show 6, I think. I think it's got great typing, though, still. It's just, like, it barely even beats a Sumo in a lot of situations. I think that's the issue. I'll put it here. It's a little bit more unique, though. There's not a lot of fire users, so being a grass that has fires, not too bad. Nah, he fights. New season starts in about 13 hours from now. Yeah. 13 and a half, to be exact. How would you buff grass if you could? Water has been so dominant for so long. It's a typing. It's a typing that's the issue. That's why Credilli and Jumpluff were really good at the time, because they're typing. Jumpluff have them flying grass coverage, which was quite nice. And then also having Fairy Wind, which was good. And then also Credilli. Rock, grass, pretty solid. But they nerfed Rock Tomb, right? I think yeah, like it had some play, right? There was a lot of Credilli for a while. But grass has always been, unfortunately, in Pokemon Go PvP, not the best. Not the best. I mean, you see that across the board, right? Master League, what's a good grass type? Tapu Bulu? It's awful. When's the last time you saw what's that monkey called? What's that mythical monkey? The dark grass one? Whatever that one. Yeah. Can't see the S tier here. Let me scroll up a little bit. Yeah. But I had to place the last one. All right, hot garbage. Of course, we're back to hot garbage Clay Doll. I don't know if it's that bad. It's not good. They nerfed it. And I just left Clay Doll on there just because. Yeah, it's a rude, yes. Right. Okay, let me adjust some of these. Top to bottom, I think these are good. You know, I would say Furret is probably... I still think it's a strong A tier pick. Like, it's just Furret doesn't, like, steamroll you the same way. It's super, super safe, though. Super safe. But, like, these are, like, a class of their own in my mind. Chargeback, I think, is going to be really solid, though, right now. If the rankings doesn't show it. I might be over-tiering this a bit. I think it's good, though. I think it's good into a lot of these picks. Yeah, I'm going to stand by a lot of these. All right, time to move some of this stuff down. Because these are definitely on the bad side. Quillfish. Yeah, this is just not good. 2 watts. A lot of these are just not that useful. I would say probably we'll leave it at... Devil... Probably put it bad. Probably bad, actually. These are all just not good. Okay. I'll leave the cutoff here. No, actually, no. I actually don't think that would be that good. I actually don't think this would be good either. So I'm going to stand by it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't think people are going to be steamrolling people with Pidgey out with Heat Wave, right? Am I, like, really? Do we really think that's going to happen? I don't think so. These are all just... These are, like, probably bad, right? Like, in what world am I ever going to use a Mana Buzz? Never. Marowak, not good, right? Like, these cannot be relevant. Scizor as well, too. Yeah. Noctowl, I'm kind of curious about. Noctowl, I'm actually really curious about because it has really great stats. One of my favorite Pokemon, too. I mean, I had a lot of great memories and runs with it, but I think it's going to get outclassed still by the other flyers. I would not be surprised, though, if Noctowl does make a slight recurrence. We'll have to wait and see. Bastion being nerfed is going to help it a lot, right? You know, like, what are the true answers to Noctowl right now? A lot of these are just kind of neutral, right? Like, yeah, Azumarill, you have the Ice Beam, but, like, you could tank it. You have the Shadow Ball for this. You could tank the Hydro Cannons. You have Shadow Ball for the Corvi, and they're throwing resist to Sand Attack, right? I don't know. Am I coping? I feel like Noctowl is actually not that bad. I think it's a little bit better than some of these other things, actually. We'll put it here, I guess. Yeah. Add Hundo Spinda. Hey, don't tell Arrow. Arrow, love the guy, but he lost to a Spinda at a regional years ago. And this was before Sucker Punch was even good. They're running Cycle Cut. Yeah, and it didn't even have Rock Tomb, or Rock Tomb was bad. Where's Chandelure? Really low. Yeah, Shadow Scizor, it's getting nerfed hard. Bullet Punch and Night Slash. It's not. Don't use it. I mean, you can use it if you want, but don't tell me I didn't warn you. Chandelure's all the way in the 700s, 736. Can you add Jump Love? I cannot. It falls outside of the top 150. It's at 203. It's hard to use. It's hard to use. It's got great stats, but it's not the meta for it. Noctowl Metacham Core. Yeah, Togetic is here. Togetic is right here. I don't know. I don't think Heat Wave is it. I got us time stalled on a Hundo Chansey. I've been there too. All right. Golurk slept on, swear to God. Yo, Golurk was my hot garbage Pokemon for the longest time too. But not anymore. Anyway, that's going to do it for my tier list. We'll see how close I am to being accurate on these. Honestly, my track record is pretty good on these in general. Not always accurate, but generally speaking, pretty good. So we'll see if that holds true or not for this upcoming season. But yeah, that's going to be it. Best of luck to you all. Hopefully the new PvP update also doesn't crash if it goes live tomorrow or whoever knows when, sometime this season. But yeah, keep it all updated. I see a triple water line coming up. Yo, can we run some Metacham Noctowl? I don't know. We definitely can't run Noctowl, Trevenant, Lantern, but Trevenant and Noctowl might be interesting. Anyway, that's going to do it for me. I'm going to send a raid over on my Twitch channel to Final Boss AJ for everyone else. Hope you all have a great one. Best of luck in the new season. Memories of Motion. That's what they call it. Memories of Motion. If you love the Mudshotters, they have a little bit of time there. Until then, I'll catch you all next time. Oh, and also, new season. Thursdays, we get more sets of battles. So be sure to catch in on my longer streams on Thursday. Looking forward to that for sure. All right. Until then, have a great one, y'all. And peace. Oh, yeah. And don't forget your star piece. Thanks all for tuning in.